Students, today we will perform a distillation operation. Before the operation, I want to explain the composition of the distillation unit, the principle of distillation, and the precautions for the distillation operation. First, a brief introduction to this unit. This is a mesoscale distillation unit. It combines simulation and real equipment, avoiding the characteristics of chemical production such as flammability, explosiveness, toxicity, and harmfulness. It integrates unit operation technologies, chemical reaction technologies, process management technologies, and safety management technologies from chemical production. This mesoscale distillation unit uses an ethanol water solution as the working medium. Contestants are required to operate according to specified operational requirements, including pre-startup preparation, startup operation, production operation, shutdown operation, and completing the distillation task by self-selecting operating conditions based on a given quantity and concentration of feedstock, assessing its process indicators, controlling the product yield, quality, production consumption, tray efficiency, standardized operation, and safety and orderly production conditions. The unit's feedstock processing capacity is less than or equal to 60 kilograms per hour. It needs to be especially emphasized. First, pay attention to safe production. Second, operate standardly. At the beginning, there must be a step to check the instruments, including checking the main power supply, instrument panel power supply, viewing the voltmeter, temperature display, and real-time monitor. Precautions for tag-out. First, understand the purpose of tag-out. The purpose of tag-out is not only to distinguish the on-off status of valves, but, more critically, to inspect and confirm the actual on-off status of the valves. After inspecting and confirming the actual valve status, hang a red tag or green tag accordingly. The reflux drum and product drum should be emptied before tagging. Check and confirm that cooling water supply is available before tagging for cooling water valves. Secondly, tag-out should be done steadily and quickly, avoiding wrong tags, dropped tags, slipping, etc. Finally, regarding tag changing. For example, if it was originally a red tag, and the valve needs to be opened briefly while the operator remains at the operation point, tag changing is not required. Precautions for this part: feed from the feedstock tank goes through the feed pump and preheater, ultimately maintaining the reboiler level between 90 to 110 millimeters. This is a team operation step. The main operator watches the DCS interface. 2 assistant operators. 1 is responsible for observing the level drop in the feedstock tank. The other is responsible for observing the level rise in the reboiler. Pay special attention, because the feed process passes through the column trays. The liquid holdup on the trays and the lag in the reboiler level rise must be fully considered. Points needing attention in this part are the marked deduction items. 1. Start the distillation column reboiler heating system standardly to raise the temperature. Open the main cooling water supply valve and the cooling water inlet valve for the distillation column overhead condenser. Adjust the cooling water flow rate. 2. Operate the product pump standardly and perform total reflux operation through the reflux rotometer. 3. Control the reflux drum level and reflux rate. Control system stability. Self-judge the tray efficiency. Determine a suitable reflux ratio. 4. Open the system vent at the appropriate time to release non-condensable gases and maintain stable overhead pressure throughout. 5. Select the appropriate feed tray.
Feed flow rate less than or equal to 60 liters per hour.
Within 5 minutes after starting the feed, the preheater outlet temperature must reach the bubble point temperature, approximately 86 degrees Celsius. 6. Operate the reflux pump standardly. Cool the overhead effluent to below 50 degrees Celsius through the overhead product cooler, and collect the overhead product. 7. Start the bottoms pump and adjust the cooling water flow rate for the bottoms cooler. After cooling the bottoms to below 50 degrees Celsius, collect the bottoms. Regarding the rationality of process indicators in this part, the following assessment points exist. 1. Feed temperature. After entering continuous production, the feed tray temperature should reach the bubble point temperature as soon as possible, and the temperature fluctuation range should be controlled within plus or minus 3 degrees Celsius. If the temperature deviation continuously exceeds the limit for 3 minutes, the system will automatically deduct 2 points, with a maximum deduction not exceeding 5 points. 2. Reboiler level. After clicking Start Assessment, the reboiler level needs to be maintained between 90 to 110 millimeters. If the level is continually above 110 millimeters or below 90 millimeters for 20 seconds, the system will automatically deduct 0.2 points, with a maximum deduction not exceeding 2 points. 3. Overhead pressure. After the assessment starts, the overhead pressure needs to be controlled below 0.5 kilopascal. If it continuously exceeds 0.5 kilopascals for 20 seconds, the system will automatically deduct 0.2 points, with a maximum deduction not exceeding 2 points. 4. Overhead product temperature. The effluent from the overhead product cooler needs to be cooled below 50 degrees Celsius before collection. If it continuously exceeds 50 degrees Celsius for 20 seconds, the system will automatically deduct 0.2 points, with a maximum deduction not exceeding 2 points. 5. Technical indicator, tray efficiency. Contestants self-judge whether the optimal tray efficiency state is reached, determine a suitable reflux ratio, report to the judge, and then enter the continuous production stable phase. Process indicator stability assessment. Feed rate is the specified value. Feed temperature and reflux ratio must not be changed. Contestants independently obtain the corresponding liquid phase concentration and vapor phase concentration from the trays. After submitting the samples to the judge for measurement, input the corresponding concentration values into the computer to obtain the calculated value for the contestant's operation. Shutdown operation steps are as follows. 1. Stop the feed pump and close the valves on the corresponding pipeline. 2. Standardly stop the preheater heating and reboiler electric heating. 3. Promptly click End Assessment on the DCS operation interface. Stop the reflux pump. 4. Send the overhead effluent to the product tank. Stop the effluent cooling water. Stop the product pump. 5. Stop the bottom product withdrawal. Stop the bottom's cooling water. Close the supply water valve and return water valve, and correctly record the water meter reading and electricity meter reading. 6. Return all valves to the state before initial startup. 7. After the assessment ends, measure the product yield. This part has the following monitoring points. 1. Product concentration, the final product concentration in the product tank. 2. Yield, the total mass of the final product in the product tank. 3. Feedstock consumption, the total amount of feedstock consumed by the feedstock tank from the very beginning to the end of the operation. 4. Electricity consumption, read the total unit electricity consumption based on the recorded initial and final values of the electricity meter. 5. Water consumption, read the total unit water consumption based on the recorded initial and final values of the water meter. Students, the entire operation assesses not only your standardized operation, teamwork, operation quality, and control technology, but, more importantly, attention to operational safety. Pay attention to the following items. If the following situations occur, the system will automatically end the assessment and deduct all safety production points. 1. Reboiler level below 50 millimeters. 2. Reboiler temperature greater than 99 degrees Celsius. 3. Feedstock tank level below 50 millimeters. 4. Overhead pressure greater than 10 kilopascals.
5. Feed flow rate greater than 60 per and
not handled promptly.